TV dramas and movies have painted a wild picture of what happens in court. Well, okay, some of the real court cases of famous people. But how much of that is true? How much of that happens in your typical everyday court cases? Well, today I am busting 10 myths about courtrooms that everyone seems to believe. Let's set the record straight and have some fun while we're doing it. Let's start with number one. Myth number one: judges bang their gavels all the time. Order, order. Nope, doesn't really happen. Gavels are rarely used anymore outside of ceremonial purposes. It's true. They all still have them on their desk. Usually they get them for graduation, and some of them never pick them up again. Myth busted. Myth number two: lawyers are always yelling, "Objection." Well, in the real courtroom, they're not. Every once in a while, sure, but not every other minute like they do on TV. So myth number two, busted. Ooh, I really am starting to like this thing. Maybe we should use it more often. Get the kids' attention, wouldn't it? Let's move on to number three. Myth number three: witnesses cry all the time on the stand. Oh my goodness, do you remember that Johnny Depp trial? There was a lot of that, wasn't there? There was a lot of things in that trial, let me tell you what. But in most court cases, the witness just comes up, says the facts, and they're done. So, myth number three, busted. Yeah, I'm going to have to put this thing down in a minute, but not quite yet. Everyone watches the verdict live. Yeah, unless it's a high-profile case. Most verdicts are delivered without any fanfare. They just hear what it is. No standing ovations, no tearful exits. They just make a statement, and that's all. So, everyone watches the verdict live. Busted. Except the people that are there in the court, like the attorneys and the defendant and the judge. They do see it live. We're talking about everybody here, though, like the whole world. Yeah, they're not all broadcast. Some of them are, though. And if you haven't seen it yet, you should check it out. In fact, I interview some of the judges that stream here on YouTube. You watch the interviews, get to know the judges. They're really interesting. Can I tell you? They're pretty incredible people. And, well, we'll save that one for next time. Myth number 6. Lawyers have endless time to prepare for trials. No. In real life, lawyers are juggling mountains of cases, and they all have very tight deadlines. It's not all polished, perfect speeches and epic trial moments. No, a lot of times they're begging for extra time just to get things done for their trials. It's a lot. They work a lot. And yes, they are known for making some money, but, they have to work really hard to earn it, because you think, if you don't prepare, someone's entire life could change and they could suffer. That's a lot of pressure. So, do lawyers have endless time to prepare and it's super easy and smooth? No, not quite. Don't believe me? Ask an attorney. Myth number 7. Defendants always testify to set the record straight. No. In fact, many attorneys encourage their defendants not to testify. It's a strategic choice, because if they say the wrong thing or answer more than the question that was asked, well, could lead to trouble. So, most of the time, they don't. If you were a defendant, would you want to testify? I think it would be really tempting, because you'd want to stand up and say, "No, I'm innocent. You have to believe me." But what if they didn't? And what if you made your case worse? So that one, busted. Myth number 8. Courtrooms are glamorous places with marble pillars and beautiful carved wood. No, we used to live in a small town in Tennessee where the courtroom was just a room with horrible, ugly carpeting and a card table set up. You just never know what you're going to get depending on where you are in the country. Most courtrooms are functional, plain, and sometimes downright boring. It's what goes in them that makes it a little bit more exciting. Well, depending on what side of the bench you are on. So, myth number 8, busted. Myth number 9, the jury always agrees. No, jurors can and do disagree. Hung juries happen more than you think. In fact, are you ready for this? According to the Office of Justice Programs, 10% of trials end up with a hung jury. That seems like an awful lot, doesn't it? They've done a study. That's what they say. So, there you go. Juries don't always agree. Myth number 10, trials are quick and exciting. Well, here's the truth. Most trials, well, they're slow and procedural. The exciting stuff, it's a fraction of what actually happens. Sorry, myth. Busted. So those are the top 10 courtroom myths. Busted. Which one surprised you the most? Let me know in the comments. For me, well, let's face it, I've been watching court for a long time. And that's why I thought I'd want to share. Do you know how many people don't watch court? Don't know how our justice system works? It fascinates me because, it's kind of important. Heaven forbid you end up in a court case. You want to know. And if you want to know how some prisoners have fared after a year and a half, or let's say 26 years in prison, well, there's some links to their stories down in the description as well. Because hearing from the judges and the defendants, that's only part of the story. Because as much as people cheer for people to be locked up and throw away the key, they're still people and they still had a life. And I think it's really interesting to hear from them, hear their stories, hear how they've changed their lives. The people on this show anyway. Because we interview people here that are making a difference, that are making a change, and are making the world a better place. Because when you turn on the news, or anywhere just about, you hear all the bad stuff. So if you want to hear some good positive things, even from people that have been in prison, subscribe. You're going to like what you see. And I guarantee you're going to learn something. Thanks for joining me today. Let me know what else you'd like to hear about in the comments, or just send me a message. You can go to my website, jenhardy.net/contact. There's a place to contact me directly right there. It's up to you. I'm just thankful that you're here. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for supporting the channel. If you could give a little thumbs up like button, that would be amazing. That tells YouTube, hey, this didn't suck. And if you watched it all the way through, I don't think you thought so. That it sucked, I mean. You liked it. Thumbs up. You know what I mean. Whew, it's been a long day. Time to go to bed. See you soon.